is racism? Racism is when people feel that they're superior to another race. We all do racism every day. When we go to the store, for especially black people, when black people go to the store, we get stares from the white people, from other ethnic people. We get followed around in the store. For black men, we get pulled over by the police, harassed. We're walking, we get harassed, we get pulled over. They ask for the ID. Sometimes, if you don't have the ID, and you have to tell them your name and give them your phone number. They do a background check on you. Sometimes they'll harass, sometimes white people call the cops on you if they feel like you're suspicious. Like you could be walking around in a park and the cop walks up to you and asks for your ID. That's because a white person called the cops on you. You hear a lot of stories about black men being killed and arrested, because they're black, and because especially black men, because black men are seen as a threat. Because you hear a lot of black men are seen as violent because a lot of white people read stories about black men, and it's all negative. You hear about black men committing crimes and getting arrested and doing all this crazy stuff. So they think all black people are bad because every time they read the newspaper or on the internet, they go on the internet and they read this horrible things about what black men did. And there are over 2 million black men in prison right now. Most people in prison are black, some white, other ethnic, Latino, but racism started back in 1600 for African Americans. We were brought, we know the whole story. White people came to Africa. They had, they stole us and they, abused us and brought us to America. They abused us, all that, and and now black people, their civil rights movements was started in 1960s, and Martin Luther King wanted peace. They had non-violence. Well, black people go into white stores, and get beat up and get arrested. Martin Luther King wanted people to come together as a race. Has things changed since the 1960s? Not much, because I don't see white and black people hanging together. Every time I look at white, at least not in my hometown, but I don't see white and black people mixing together or talking to each other. I usually see white people, and blacks with blacks. Or I see Latinos with Latinos, or Jewish with Jews. Or all people usually stick to people their own race. But I feel like if people would, there would be less racism if people would just come together. And if people stop talking about racism, that could put it into it. There have been a lot of slavery movies coming out. Harriet Tubman, 12 Years a Slave, which is trying to heal racism. I don't think it's helping. Talking about racism is not going to help unless people just stop talking about it. But black people have been dealing with racism for decades, generations, of over 400 years. So it's 2020. It seems like black people are, they created back in the 1970s. They had Black Panther. That didn't help. Now, a couple years ago, they did Black Lives Matter. About 9 years ago, Black Lives Matter. That didn't help. It's not really helping. We come up with these. We're trying to dealing with Trayvon Martin was killed a couple years ago because he was black, and George Zimmerman thought he was suspicious because he saw a black guy wearing a hood. So it leads to a lot of innocent black guys are getting arrested, killed just because of the color of their skin. But it's pretty messed up. But racism is when people feel superior to another race. They feel like they're better than somebody else. So there's ways to end racism. Mr. J, here, peace.